Page 72, Deck the Keys with Dotted Quarters. This is a takeoff on Deck the Halls, a Christmas tune. They changed the words a little. We're dealing with dotted rhythms here. Now the rule's the same for dotted notes. It doesn't matter what the note is. The dot gets half the value of the note, and you just tie them together. You've had dotted half notes for quite a while. That's a dotted note, where in 3/4 time or 4/4 time, the half note would get 2 counts, so the dot would get 1. That's half the value of 2. And you put them together, so a dotted half note would get 3 counts. And it's the same thing here, except now we're dealing with dotted quarter notes. So here in this piece, we're in 4/4 time. So you need to know what the time signature is to know how many beats the note gets. Well, in 4/4 time, a quarter note gets 1 count. Well, if that's the case, then the dot is going to get a half a count when it's behind a quarter note. Now, if a dot is behind a half note, it gets half of the value of the half note. So it takes half of the value of whatever note is behind. Don't get too confused here. It's not like, well, the dot, in this piece, the dot always gets half a count. No, it depends on the note it's behind. It gets half of the value of the note. So in the first measure, you have a G here, and it's in G position. Okay, the G comes on beat 1, the dot comes on beat 2, because a quarter note gets a count. So something has to come on beat 2, in this case it's the dot. And then anything, has to come on the and of 2. In this case it's an 8th note. Doesn't have to be an 8th note, could be anything, not anything, but just about anything. The point is it has to come on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and. And that's how it works. And then you just go on like you were happy after that. So you have dotted quarter notes throughout here. 1 and 2. Now once you have a handle on that, then you feel it. It's just 1, 2, 3. So you can just count quarter notes, and you know the 8th note is in between them. 1, 2, 3. So forth. And as I said, that happens with any dotted note. The dot gets half of the value of the note. So let's do this one hand at a time. Make sure we got the notes and the fingering and the rhythm. Starting with the right hand, you're in C position. The beginning, 1 and 2 and 3. The quarter notes, the 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And see there, the quarter note, dotted quarter note, and the third measure comes on beat 3. 3, the dot comes on beat 4, and the 8th note then would come on the and of 4. 3 and 4 and then cross over, and then you do that again. Go over to page 73 in the last line. It's measure 16. Remember, the numbers at the beginning of each line in the box is a measure number, and you can count across from that to figure out what measure you need. But measure 16 is fine. It's 1 and 2. And then they say jump. Don't jump. Kind of misleading. It might be fun, but it's just not necessary. Just stay where you're at. You lift up and move. Is all that is. I would suggest for now, see, I don't teach this jumping stuff. I like to play everything connected at first. And I can do the jumping stuff later. Well, I still won't do jumping, but you get the idea. I suggest you connect it. So the last note, measure 16 here, to the first note, measure 17, it's thumb on the F. Connect it, just bring the thumb under, relax and bring the thumb under. Here, connect it. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then an E and a C at the end, just bring the thumb down. Left hand, C chord, 4 counts. I'm not very good at this, but try and get all the notes down at the same time. Just put your hand in that position and you're lowering the whole hand. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. Don't play with a stiff wrist. Relax. Even when trying to get them all down at the same time, you can still do it and be relaxed. Really, you can. Next measure, you get a whole rest, and then measure 4 is here. to page 73 on measure 9. It's the last measure of the first line. You see a 7 and you count across, 8, 9. Or you can go to the next line where it's measure 10 and just go back one. I do that a lot too. Because there might be 8 measures in a line in some cases, and I don't want to count across. Sometimes it's quicker to go to the next line and count backwards. All right. Anyway, here. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2. Cross over, third finger. And stay there. And then when you finish that, then lift up and move down. They didn't say jump, I don't know why, but you're back down. Go down to the last line, measure 16, you're here, 1 and 2. Now they're saying jump, yuck. This is, in my opinion, poor fingering. This is a bad habit. To go here. I think they're just having fun. Have a little fun when you're playing this, so you're going to let both hands jump up here. Here. Well, we'll talk about that a little later. And then the last measure, that last note is the C. Remember, 2 ledger lines below the staff and bass clef is a C, 2 octaves down. You can jump that too, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Put the hands together. 1 and 2. See, that's a half note. Hold it down. 1 and 4 and so forth. Go down to the last line on page 73, where the jumps are. Well, measure 16. 1 and 2. Now they want you to jump. Unless you're just having fun with it. I mean, if you're just having fun with it, by all means, jump to your heart's content. Here. Otherwise, if you want to do it musically and with good fingering style, then the left hand, stay here, and cross over third finger. Here. It's much safer than going from here to here. So I'll leave that up to you and your teacher whether you're going to do that or not, but I am going to do here. Just stay in this position and then cross over third finger. It's like a C major scale. So that last line, 1 and 2. That's how I would suggest you do it, but if you want to jump, go for it. Now I play all of this connected, as connected as I can, and then once I have a handle on the notes and the rhythms and the fingering, then I go back and add the articulation. That's the slurs and the staccatos. I don't think we have any accents, but okay, so it's here. Connect this. You have to lift up on the left hand because it was a chord. You have no choice. But connect it as best you can. Lift the hands together. It's just like taking a breath. And then staccato with the wrist staccato. Lift up, like taking a breath again. It's a new phrase. Do that on page 73 on measure 9 again. The left hand gets the melody. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Connect all that together and then lift up. You got to move anyway, that's fine. Then in the last line here. They want you to lift up here, and that's where you can move up if you want. Okay. Otherwise, you still lift up and just keep your fingering. Here. That's the articulation. Dynamics, moderately loud at the beginning. Whatever you think that is, it's the melody. You keep everything else under it. Keep this soft. We want to hear. Right there, measure 4. I want to hear that. This is soft. Keep it soft. Bring out the melody. When you get to measure 9, this is soft here, but the right hand's not playing. You'll have to decide what soft is and all this, but you'll do that. Soft, then measure 11, start it soft, and now a little louder, now moderately loud. So you take it time and measure 11. It's soft, moderately soft, moderately loud, so forth. You can experiment with that, but don't get moderately loud until measure 12. Now you're moderately loud in the melody here, measure 13. It's like you were at the beginning. Now you're moderately soft in the melody on measure 15. The left hand needs to be very soft. A little louder, measure 16. And then measure 17, you start at moderately loud, you're going to go up to loud, but don't get loud to the last measure. That's the loudest part of the piece right there. It's like that's the climax of the piece at the end. And this note down here is about a moderately loud. Don't. It's too easy when you get down low to come out loud. You can come out louder than you intend to. So just about a moderately loud or even moderately soft there. Moderately loud is probably fine. Speed-wise, well, brightly. Well, it's intended to be a happy song. You have to be accurate. So how fast can you play it accurately? Find the hardest part or section in here, and how fast can you do that? And that tells you what you can do. The showing pedal in the last measure. The idea is we want to hang on to this note when we play that note, and in order to do that we have to use the pedal. Otherwise I got to use the right hand to hold the note down, which I can do because once I play it, if I play the last note with second finger, thumbs are ready, and I play it, then I can hold it, and then I can keep it while I'm playing that. I get all the notes. However, it's a little more advanced, so just let go of the note. That's all right. Not going to miss it much. I don't recommend using pedal at the end like that. I didn't use it anywhere else, and the pedal's going to add a lot of overtones there. It's loud, that's nice, and it doesn't hurt anything. It's just, it's too much of a contrast. This has all been clean. I don't want to use pedal at the end. I just like, So I disagree with that. However, if you like the sound, by all means use pedal, because pedaling is a personal thing. I would like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I will do the staccatos though. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just do it slowly together. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1 and 2.